Okay, we're going to learn how to tune up your ukulele. So, with your ukulele in the playing position here, we count this as the bottom, so it's closest to the floor, and this as the top string. So, like in an apartment complex, the first floor is down here, then the second floor, and the third and the fourth, and on up. So, we call this the first string, and then the second and third and fourth. So normally I would tune up in this position, but I am going to put it in a position that's a little bit easier to be filmed. So I'm going to put it down here. And I'm going to use my favorite brand of tuner, which is Snark. And I always decorate mine because if you're in a ukulele class and somebody asks to borrow your tuner, you want to get it back, and a lot of people have the same one. So no one's going to accidentally walk off with this one. And you turn it on and off by just pressing there like that. So we're going to start with this string, which if we remember now, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this string right here. So string number 4, it needs to be a G. So the green is perfect. And then if it's too tight, it'll maybe be an A, or really too tight, it would be a B. So that's called being sharp, or the pitch is too high. So that would be if it's too tight. And then if this fourth string is too loose, it might register as an F or an E. So that would be too low or flat. So the tuner's going to show us perfect would be up straight, and in this direction would be too loose or flat or too low, and this direction would be too sharp or too tight or too high. So I've made all of the strings go out of tune. So I've forgotten which way. So I did it. Okay, so this is saying F. So it is it's all the way down here, and even though the color is pointing over to this way, which would say too sharp, it's not even the right letter yet. So we need to move it up in this direction, which means we need to tighten it. So this would be tightening it. So we want to look at the string and follow it with your eye to the tuner peg to make sure you don't accidentally start turning this one, which can happen, but that is not going to help you at all because it's going to be this string. So just make sure you've got your hand on the right peg for that string, okay? So we need to make it tighter, so I'm going to turn it this way, okay? Because the string comes to the peg and goes around this way. So if I turn it this way, and you'll see it'll start going to a G eventually. It's going to go in a way, it's like going around and coming. Now we're seeing a G, but as you can see, it's on that side, which means it's flat. So we're getting closer and closer to straight up, and there we are. Perfect. So I just was holding it here, and I was using my thumb to pluck like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next string. This string is the C string. That's the third string. So we're counting from the bottom up. 1, 2, 3. This one. And so we want it to be C. And if it's too sharp or too tight or too high, it's going to show as a D, E, or like that. And if it's too loose, it'll be a B. Let's see what we got. Okay, we have a D. So it is too tight. So we need to loosen it to make it go back down to the letter before that. So make sure your hand is on the right tuning peg, and it's that way. So we want to loosen it. So it's going to go this way. So now I've got a C sharp, but I need to keep going until it doesn't say C sharp. We need to go all the way to another letter. So we're still too tight. And there we go. Now we've got a perfect C, almost. A little bit it too flat or too loose or too low. Okay, there we go. So now we've got our G and our C. So our next one, the second string, is going to be the E. That's this one. So now you've got to reach your hand around to this side, and it's going to be this one here. So make sure your hand is on the right one, and let's see what we got now. Oops, here we go. It's saying D sharp. So here's our E. So it's on this side, which means it's too flat or too low or too loose. Okay, so now this one, to make it tighter, we're going to turn it this way. To make it tighter. So it's D sharp, but we want to get it to show an E. So I'm turning it gently. And it's climbing to an E, perfect E. So we took it from there to there by tightening it. Okay, our next one here is what's called the first string, the A, and it's showing a B. So that means it is too tight or too sharp or too high. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that our hand is on the right tuning peg. You follow the string and it's going around this way. So it is too tight, so I'm going to loosen it, which means I'm going to make it go that way. So it's an A sharp, and I want to get it to a natural A. We're getting there. Turning and turning. Okay, boom, perfect. So let's go back and check them now, because sometimes if they've been that far out, they need a little help getting back. Okay, well this one looks great. Oh, it's just flickering a little bit too tight, so I just loosened it a hair. Oh, that one's showing a little bit too tight too. Normally they're not that far out of pitch. Okay. Oh, this is, by the way, strung with a low G. So instead of my dog has fleas, normally it would be my dog has fleas. So this one is an octave lower. So yours might sound, instead of bum, it'll sound bum. All right, there we go. Have fun.